Tony D and Little Joan, and this is a screenwriter's rant on Bookie, new series from the creator of The Big Bang Theory, and of course Charlie Sheen's in it. Two and a Half Men. Um, it's about a bookie and his sidekick. This is that Italian comic. I forget his name, but he plays the bookie, and I guess Charlie Sheen's one of his regular customers and is a degenerate gambler. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 13 available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. I kind of like the show because I like low-level gangster stuff. I think it's fun. So these guys work in LA and they take bets, and then when their clients don't pay them or they run out of money, they incentivize them to pay. So they got to deal with a lot of lowlifes, and they're on the verge of having sports gambling legalized in California, and they're in all sorts of trouble. Here they are going up against a client who's rather large, Sebastian Maniscalco, who's good for this, and Omar J. Dorsey is the other guy. So it's all about money and crime, and here's some guys threatening them for I don't know what they owe them. Here's a guy they beat up. That might be Charlie Sheen. I'm not sure, but it looks fun. It looks funny. Here, he's got to go to the emergency room because he broke his finger for some reason. They got into a fight or whatever, and here they, I don't know, take a TV from a client and give it to Omar's mother or older aunt or whatever, and she's mad because it only has basic cable. So it's on Max. I might watch this. I might actually watch this because it looks kind of funny and fun. I like these kinds of shows because it's like, it's like you got two guys who are pretty sketchy, right? And Sebastian is the complainer of the two, I'll say. And he's just complaining about his clients and his life and whatever. And, but he is, a low-level gangster. And he's beating guys up and taking their money. He knows what he's doing. And yet he's complaining about them. Like they don't give him enough. And for some reason, Charlie Sheen is at the top of the bill on this. I guess because he's the biggest name. Is he in the show that often? I guess. He's a regular on the show. But it is the guy who created The Big Bang Theory. I assume it's Chuck Lorre. I think he created it. Or at least he produced it in America. I think it was originally an English show. Yeah, nothing else on it. But it looks good. Looks fun to me. Because there'll be some comedy, there'll be some action. This is why I like the low-level gangster stuff. Like, if it's too serious and too high level, then it's too serious. But if it's low level, it's always funny because they get in ridiculous situations over money, and it's like watching people fight over the last dollar or something. And you never know what they're scheming, what's going on. There are guys above them, guys below them. So they're kind of in the middle there, just trying to survive. And so there's a lot of places to go, right? So you could envision a scenario where these guys, have an amazing arc where they take over a crime syndicate, but you could also envision them losing everything and ending up on the bottom and ending up degenerate gamblers themselves. So there's a lot of places to go. There's a lot of depth in that. And in terms of Charlie Sheen, he can be a degenerate. I think it might be a stretch for Charlie, but he might be able to play a degenerate. Yeah. He sounds like a guy who's maybe gambled or done some sketchy things in his life. Just saying. Sebastian is angry Italian guy, which I can relate to. So it works. Now, how realistic is it in terms of, the actual crime? Fairly realistic. Because when you get down to the low levels of the criminal underworld, kind of anything goes. There are a lot of shenanigans. You never know what's going to happen because because, like, when you get into the upper echelons, everything's kind of goes a certain way because it's all very carefully controlled. There's a lot of money involved. So you're not going to have a lot of shenanigans. But when you get down at a low level, there's a lot of shenanigans because there's not a lot of control there. You know, it's just people robbing, poor people robbing other poor people, and crazy things happening all the time. So I think there's a lot of mileage here. You can go in a lot of different directions. I like the title Bookie. It's very East Coast, even though it takes place in the West Coast. And that's another thing I see in this show. You've got Sebastian, who comes off kind of like an East Coast guy in LA, where they're, you know, really weird and smug and way too friendly. You know, I did a comic on the Web Comic Factory called East Coast versus West Coast, and we explored that in the comic for a little while. And so I'm sensing a little bit of that here. And Sebastian comes off as very East Coast. Guy like Charlie Sheen's more West Coast. Omar's kind of somewhere in the middle. He doesn't really, I don't know, he doesn't get too many lines in the trailer, so I'm not sure. But I would check this out. I would check this out. And this to me is a better show than, say, like Tulsa King. Even though I like Stallone, and, you know, I hear the show's not bad, but, like, Stallone's too big for a role like this. I mean, I think he could do it. I think he could play a low-level gangster, but I don't think he wants to. Whereas Sebastian, you know, he's not as big in his career, and he's also a comedian, so he's got that comic timing. So I think this is, like, kind of perfect for him. So I'll be very interested to see it. It's called Bookie. It's on Max. And I say check it out. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. If you see me disappear off this platform on YouTube, you know where to find me on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble. Tomorrow I will be at the Greenwich Artisans Fair. This is in Greenwich, New Jersey. It's way down south, from 10 to 4. It's an outside show, but the weather should be nice, so I hope to see you there. Don't forget the live stream tomorrow at 7. I'm scheduling for 7. Should be back in plenty of time for that. So I hope to see you there for that, because we're going to be talking about the Marvels and probably laughing. That's it for today. We'll see you tomorrow.